I knew that I was coming to Atlanta, the first person on my list to sit down with was my sister Toya. With the reality show world, they want the fights, they want the screaming.
You have to be real and vulnerable.
Oh man, I was at some of those parties and I never even knew that's what was going on behind closed doors.
She's just so attracted to guys that are like her dad. No.
How does every day go by after dealing with something so tragic like that?
I'm gonna be all the way honest and transparent.
I'm so excited for you guys to get to know me a little bit more and get to learn some more things about some of my favorite people in my life, industry insiders, because there is always more to the story. I'm Rocsi Diaz, and welcome to More to the Story. This is gonna be one of those moments where all of a sudden you're like, Rocsi, where did that New Orleans accent even come from? Because whenever I get around my home team, my hometown, it just starts coming out of me. And baby, when I knew that I was coming to Atlanta, the first person on my list to sit down with was my sister Toya. And she is here right now. And we're gonna get into all things Atlanta versus New Orleans and put this to a side. So T, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm excited. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you. You too.
I'm excited to see you. And let's get down to the nitty gritty. What's up, mama?
What's up, girlie?
When I knew I was coming to Atlanta, I was like, oh no. So we gotta sit down.
It's been a minute.
We gotta talk. It's been a while. I don't know. I have a bad habit of watching everybody on social media. Mm-hmm. You feel like you've kept up with them. You know, we make the comments underneath our pictures and stuff like that. But in honest truth, I'm trying to be more intentional with my time and who I, want to make time to see. So I appreciate you sitting down right now.
You already know. Because
it's a lot in New Orleans. I actually get excited during this time because it's football season time. And I love seeing you and your hubby go through it. During football season. It's just a rivalry in that house.
Yes, this is the only time my household is divided. We do not get along football season at all.
What's been going on with you?
Girl, a lot. Well, I just really getting back into it because I'm recovering from my fibroid surgery. So I'm now ready to get back to work because that completely drained me.
That was something that when I saw. First of all, we never know what somebody is going through. Mm-hmm. You didn't really share that, you had been dealing with fibroids. I never knew about it. But then you pop up in a hospital bed and I'm like, whoa. What just happened? Like, what's going on? What made you open up and share about the fact that you just had fibroid surgery? And that all went well, thank God.
Thank God. Yeah, well, actually, this was my second time. I ended up having a myomectomy right before I got pregnant with my 6-year-old Rain, and they came back. And this time they came back so bad, and we don't talk about it enough. A lot of us are suffering with it in silence. And when you get with women and then you say you have it, then the whole table is like, oh, me too. Yeah. It's crazy to see how many women is dealing with it. But this last time, it really completely drained me, and I was in so much pain. I wanted to talk about it just to hear other women's stories. And so I tried a different procedure this time, which was the UFE procedure, where they went in and they shrunk them this time instead of going and cutting on me again. So I felt amazing afterwards.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're on this wellness journey, and you've been for several years now. Yes. What was that deciding factor that made you change and say, hey, I got to get healthier? And not only that, I'm going to make this into a business with me and my family.
Well, as you get older, your body just starts to change. Like the stuff we used to eat at home as soon as you get off the plane, I gotta have this, that. I do it, but not as much because so many of my family members are dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, all of that type of stuff. It makes you want to get your act together. I'm 40 now, so I got, the time is ticking. So it's you gotta, at some point, change the way you move. You have to get into working out, something that I hated. And just changing my whole, not saying that I completely gave up everything, but I don't eat chicken anymore. I don't eat, I eat junk food, but not super, super sweet stuff that I used to crave. So just cutting back and just taking things in portions.
So I remember not too long ago, it was all about being thick.
Yes.
Hollywood is on an Ozempic kick right now.
Listen, everybody want to be slim. Fine.
Everybody want to be slim, fine, skinny, and there's nothing wrong with taking the shortcut. But if the shortcut is, why would you be against the shortcut?
Well, I don't know the long-term effect that comes with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know like how that's gonna affect us in the future. So I would rather just get my walk on every day, go to my gym, work out, and just do it the right way. It's a longer process, you know, but it's a healthier way. And Rain, in my opinion.
And Rain must be all up on. She's gonna have you running around anyway.
Rain keeps me busy from gymnastics to soccer to dance to school activities. Girl, how can I, 20 years apart, I'm doing this all over again.
How does that feel?
Listen, it's a blessing because she keeps me going. Like it's never a dull moment in my house with her. But it's a lot starting over, especially having a 26-year-old and then a 6-year-old. That's crazy. It's like a huge gap. So it's not like they could play together, you know? So, I mean, it's a blessing. I love my little rainbow.
With Nay, it's so different because I feel like all of us, like older aunties that have been around for a while,
feel like
we just want to cuddle. We want to protect her so much because we still see her as the baby. And she's such a grown woman now.
Girl, she is such a grown woman and so responsible and just watching her grow, I just be so amazed. Like, you know, how she just so independent. Like, I'm used to Nate calling me all the time, Mom. It's like now, girl, she be like, I got it. I'm like, oh, it's my baby still.
It's funny in the transition of you walking in, Bow Wow was walking out, and he's like, I just saw her at Magic.
At the club.
Right.
I'm like, oh, Lord.
Do you ever cringe? When we were coming up, we would wake up and go straight to media takeout to see if we made the blogs. Do you now wake up and go straight to the shade room to see if Nay made
my
it
fingers. I'm just hoping Nay is just, you know, not on this internet today. Because, you know, well, I'm not going to say kids, that age, they stand to something. So, yeah, every day I just be like, I just want her to just, you know, stay away from that.
How do you navigate that? Because one thing about her and what I love about Nay is she's going to have her family's back.
Oh, she
Don't
is.
talk about her family. Don't talk about her. And don't talk about anybody that she's in a relationship with.
Please
But
don't.
we know that sometimes you just got to stay quiet about things. How can you even try to counsel somebody and give advice to somebody that came up in the game with you?
Girl.
And she know better.
No. See, Nay is... I'm gonna be honest, like, even though we bump heads and I'm always talking to her about what not to do and just giving her advice from just my experiences, that is my one child. Well, I can't even say it because it's like I must be the common denominator because both of my kids are like, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? They just have their own mind, I can't, how they feel, you're gonna know it. They can't hide it. They're going to express themselves with no problem. They don't care what you think, how you feel. I'm going to say it. It's like, girl, hush your mouth sometimes. But that's just her personality. She just feels like that's just a part of her keeping it real. But I'm like, every time something is going on, it doesn't require you to say something. You can be quiet sometimes. But I don't think that oldest one of mine know what that means.
Yeah, well, especially with everything that's been happening in the headlines too, and rightfully so. I think we all, especially we from the city, we from New Orleans, we know the Super Bowl was coming to New Orleans. The first thing we're thinking like, oh man, I ain't gonna lie, during the Essence Festival, I was like, Cash Money reunion? Wait, what's happening? What's going on? Young Money is in the building too? I was there. I was backstage. There's a lot of stuff that was happening backstage, a lot of drama backstage, and I was like, oh man. And I was praying that wasn't the reason why they didn't choose Weezy to do the halftime show. How disappointed were you when you heard that it was going to be, not disappointed in the fact, happy for Kendrick. I'm happy for Kendrick, but we from New Orleans.
Right.
We wanted something different. We want something that, you know, felt like home. But there are no rules that say, just because it's your hometown, you got to perform there.
I really feel like it would have been amazing to see Wayne perform at the Super Bowl. You know, that the city, that's what they wanted. And like a lot of his fans, you know, he never was able to be a part of it. So that would have just been the icing on the cake for his career. And I know it's something that he's always wanted to do. But I mean, what's for you is for you. So we got to just let, Kendrick have his moment. And yeah, but that would have been a beautiful thing, especially for our culture, like for the city, for New Orleans. Like, that's what the people want to see, but it didn't happen that way. So we got to just move along.
How do you not have animosity towards the industry, and you've been in it for so long, when you see decisions like that be made?
It comes with the industry. You know how the industry is. You've been in it for a very long time. So it's like, just because you think something is going to happen or you cool with somebody don't necessarily mean that's for you or it's your opportunity or you got it. So it just make you just wake up and just understand that just because somebody says something or you cool with somebody, I automatically got this. You can't get your hopes up high in this industry because it's more of a who's this in a moment type of thing, or it's politics. So it's, the industry is the industry.
You tired of the industry?
Girl, that's why I be in my bubble. I be in my bubble. I love what I have learned since I ain't gonna lie, the last couple of months, this whole year, it's been a crazy year for everybody. It's so much going on in the world. I just want peace. So I be trying to block out all that unnecessary stuff and just stay focused on my family, pray, go to church, just do things like that because it's just too negative. It's just too much.
I saw somewhere you said that with the reality show world, people just want the rah-rah. They want the fights. They want the screaming. You personally would like to see growth, entrepreneurship, change, which is something that you do by yourself on your social media. I always see you plug in something that's a new business venture, which I think is beautiful because you're expanding your portfolio at the end of the day. What do you think is the biggest takeaway of stepping away from the industry a little bit, but using your platform to be able to do these new business ventures?
I feel like when I was talking about the reality show world, like me and Reginae have season 2 of our new show coming out. So, Toya and Reginae season 2 is coming out top of the year. Although I would love for my show to showcase more of my business ventures and different things like that, you have the family drama that we all can't get away from, and it's just your reality. Like I'm dealing with it with my family now, and it's a very, it's a difficult thing, but it's real. And when you sign up for reality TV, you have to be real and vulnerable. Like that's the only thing that's relatable, but there is a fine line. Like I love my shows to portray growth and to teach people like lessons in some type of way. Like it don't have to be all rah-rah, but to answer your question, I'm moving into a different direction. Like I want to do stuff to celebrate women. I have this company that I developed called Sis, I Celebrate You. I want to do this big conference just around giving women their flowers, just highlighting women in business that's making boss moves, like something as African-American women, we don't always do that. It's always like a crab in a barrel syndrome. It's like you hate to see the next woman get to the top, but it's room out here for all of us to eat. And that's something that a lot of women don't understand. Like,
where do you think that comes from?
I think it comes from like the way we were raised up. It's like you got to fight for, well, I know for me, a lot of women, it's hard for them to actually just help each other, like to give each other that little, you feel like it's going to take away from you. Like, why? It's enough out here for all. When you win, we all win. That's how it's really supposed to go. But for some reason, our culture, African-American women don't understand that concept. And with Sis, I Celebrate You, I want to do something different. I want to help upcoming businesses with my conference, like donate money and just do things around celebrating women and sisterhood, like just building something off of that. So I want to kind of branch off from my reality TV world into something, that is really my heart and really my, something I'm really like passionate about. I'm a girl's girl. You know that. I've always been a girl's girl. And just to teach, because so many women, I'm not a girl's girl. I can't do girls. I don't know how you do it. To what capacity? It's like, nothing is wrong with if you have the knowledge on helping your sister or giving her flowers. You look beautiful today. Like just small little gestures like that. It's just so hard for women sometimes.
Do you think that the shape of how women interact with each other is changing because of this upcoming election, and you see us like actually really agreeing with certain topics that are like major players during this time too, that's kind of bringing women closer together? The fact that we may just have
a female president.
Exactly.
I love how women are coming together for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like, okay, we don't want to go this route, so we need to stick together and help, push this way. I really love how that is coming along, how they raised all that money and came together and just supporting each other along this way of this election process. So,
what are those conversations like at your household? When do you guys get into politics much?
Well, of course, with our kids and with our family, but I'm not really big on speaking on politics publicly. Like, well, I'll, say who I'm voting for and encourage young people to vote, because it's very important to use your voice, but like to just be front and center speaking on politics, that has never been my thing. But in my household, my kids who I'm raising, my nieces and nephews, I'm always telling them to register to vote and pushing them into that direction. And like people, the younger generation that's around me, and also my social media followers, just encouraging them to vote.
I think that you've always been somebody that's been super transparent. When you're private, but there's I can honestly say there's very few things that you don't share unless it's like the nitty gritty of what's happening in the household.
You ain't gonna see me get on social media and be like, oh, me and my man just got into it and he da-da-da-da. I'm not that girl.
But one thing that I do like that you share is just how you both work together. You and Red just like click. I was so happy when you got married. I was like, yes, because you've been through it. You've been through it in relationships.
You know it.
Yeah, you really have. How did you allow yourself to trust yourself and your heart again and allow that to somebody?
It's a process. Like, I used to always tell my friends around me, because I'm always surrounded by women that are married. To me, I'm a wife. Like, I'm not a serial dater, girlfriend. I'm a wife. So men that approach me, they know that about me. Like, I'm not about to play with you and just date out here and do all that. I'm not that girl. But after I went through my last divorce, I told myself that I would never get married again. And that was selfish of me, because God has blessed me with an amazing husband who is all of the things that I prayed for. Very family oriented, a man of God, treat his parents good, hardworking, like somebody I could build and grow with. It was just like I'm looking like, okay, you keep saying out loud, you speaking this negativity on your relationship when God has brought you exactly what you pray for. So wake up. So I had to really like change my thought process. Like I had a guard up for years, and my husband was there, like knocking each barrier down or whatever. And what it was, a couple of years later, we ended up getting married. We had our daughter first, and we got married. And that's still my best friend, like my rock. Like that's the yin to my yang. Like, that's my guy.
Yeah, and he's held you down for some real tough,
my brother's
debilitating times. I can't even imagine. I'm so glad that he was in your life during that time, because I couldn't imagine you not having a rock there. How do you even cope with the idea of, how does every day go by after dealing with something so tragic like that?
Yeah, it's I'm going to be all the way honest and transparent. It's something that will never, a pain that will never, ever go away. But each and every day it gets easier to deal with. And the craziest part about it is, you would think a situation like that would bridge a family closer, because you lost not one, but two siblings at the same time to senseless violence. But that wasn't the case in my situation. Like, it didn't bridge me and my siblings closer. It actually like made the situation, our situation worse. So it's just something that you pray on. And
even to this day,
like they are a part of our show that's airing. Toya and Regina, I allowed them to, I love my family. And if you know that, you know me, you know that. And it's always been me trying to help them to some capacity or have some type of relationship with them. But it just never seemed to work out. And then the guilt of losing two brothers and not wanting to lose the other two that's left, like wanting to build and grow with them, but not everybody is always on the same page. And you can't change people is what I learned from the situation. So it's very unfortunate, but I had to take a step back and put me and my family first. You know, the family that God has blessed me with, and just build and grow with them. And sometimes you have to be selfish and, you know, do what's best for you and your peace.
Sometimes, but families, I'm sure there's a lot of women and a lot of people in your situation thinking and going through exactly what you're going through right now, where it's hard for families to understand you now created this family over here. Y'all are still my family over there, especially after something so tragic that happens. We got to stick together, but it's two separate identities. Yeah. So how would you advise anybody going through that situation what to prioritize?
I think it's best to just set boundaries. You know, like I'm not saying that people should go around just cutting your loved ones off. Right. But you have to definitely set boundaries. Things that you know is a go and things that's a no for you and your peace in your life. So with me, that's how I navigate through it. It's like I set those boundaries, and if you can't respect that, then you can't, you know, I just would rather not have you around me. I would rather pray for you and love you from a distance. And that's just the space I am in now. You know, like this space that I am in now is all about peace, love, happiness, and surrounding myself with people that I feed off, people that, you know, we're on the same frequency. Like it's not no rah-rah, no none of that. I don't have time for that no more. Yeah. So you either gonna, you know, be right or just get left.
I think in your 40s, you're just tired, boss.
You tired. Girl, nobody got time for no rah-rah, no dumb stuff. Like,
and you see the dumb stuff that's coming out right now.
It's too much, girl.
It's a lot. It's heavy. The industry is heavy right now.
It's heavy.
Do you ever work? I mean, you're in it. You know, your loved ones are in it. Wayne is still a big part of your life because of Nay. At the end of the day,
you know,
it's your best
friend.
I know. It's your that's. First of all, that's too long since I was, 15, 16 years old? Kids running around. I remember that damn purple Jaguar in New Orleans.
Yes.
I remember all of that. And it's just, you know, it's scary where the industry is going. A lot of who were our mentors are coming down. They're chopping them down left to right.
Left and right.
What goes through your mind when you think about, oh man, I was at some of those parties, or oh man, I was around these people and I never even knew that's what was going on behind closed doors?
It's just sad. Like, it's sad to watch, you know, people that you once looked at as goals. You know what I'm saying? Like they got it all together, and it's like some people just strive to be like to just watch everything just unfold right before your eyes, and the things that comes out. It's really sad. And then the biggest part of for me is I'm a mother, and it's the last thing I think about kids all the time, like how things affect your kids. So while everybody else is I'm more of the person that's worried about the kids and how they're feeling, and just wishing that, you know, that somebody wrap them arms around them and just love on them, pour into them, because it's just a lot to watch and hear. You know, a lot publicly that you have to deal with growing up, you know, that can determine how the rest of your life goes. Like it can, you know, put you in a depression, like all type of stuff. So I just want to just give my love to the babies that are growing up, you know, watching all of this.
But it's scary to know that the choices, because when you even think about it, we were all in the game really, really young. You guys started longer and were in it way longer before me. The choices that you make back then, how they could come back.
It could come back.
Haunt you.
It could come back.
I'm not saying that you've made any of those choices, but are you ever worried about with your family if anybody has made choices that could come back and haunt them?
I mean, everybody have a past, and everybody have things that they have done at a younger age, and, you know, just stuff that they wouldn't necessarily consider okay today. So it's just people just have to be careful the things that they do and how they move, especially when you are a public figure, because it comes back. It definitely comes back. So I'm just praying, you know, nobody I know is affiliated with nothing like that. You know, because that's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot.
It's really a lot.
Every single day. I'm just like,
girl, who and what and how and why and what
do you think it is? Do you think it's power? Do you think it's getting addicted to power, or is it thinking you could just get away and treat people however you want to, you know, however you can treat them. It's like, what gets in industry dudes are different. But what do you think it is that comes over their minds?
It's probably definitely money and power. You know how they think and move, and like they above bigger than the program. And it's just sad. Girl, I pray for them all.
You like them babies. I pray for them all.
All of them.
But that's when I look at Nay, and I'll be like, please, they could find you a doctor, find you a lawyer, get out of the industry.
And you know what's crazy? She just so attracted to guys that are like her dad. And I'm like, why are you still? No, go another direction. But it's like, you can't tell your kids who to love and who to date and stuff like that. They gonna like who they like, love who they love. But I just be praying like, please don't go that route. Go another way, baby. Get you a lawyer, a doctor, like get you a cool little entrepreneur that's made, like, stay away from the industry.
We all had to learn the hard way.
Yes. But I would think her hard way passed already.
Not yet. Girl. You ain't learned the hard way until way later in your 30s, so you still got a long way to go. Mature.
I love that she's so much, like, you don't understand. This girl is 26, but she is very, very mature. She grew up with me. Yeah. She grew up with us.
Yeah. She grew up with you. Yeah, she knows the game.
She knows the game. So come on, my girl.
There's been so many times I've been wanting to send her a message like
shut up and don't say nothing else. I stay telling her.
And that's what happens when you have too many aunties in the industry too, because it's hard to look at her.
It takes a village. Send that message, okay? It's gonna get heard. It takes a village. I'm her mother, and I'm telling you, shoot that text.
Send her that message. All right, well, you gave me the permission because I don't be wanting to step on nobody's toes.
It takes a village, sis.
I love it. All right, well, before you go, since it's such a big rivalry in your household, Atlanta versus New Orleans. And I know that you've been calling Atlanta home.
I love Atlanta.
For a little bit. It's been a while that you've been here.
It's been long.
But I get excited when I find out that we both in the city at the same time. Even though we never really get to kick it when we're in the city. Because it's always
only
so much
at home sometimes. Like we do at home.
Yeah, but we're due for a real big celebration in New Orleans. But I'm going to ask you, who's got it down better? New Orleans versus Atlanta? Edition speed round. So you answer to me.
Okay.
What city holds it down better?
Okay.
You ready? Mm-hmm. You know Ray gonna watch this too. Which, by the way, I don't like how I've gotten inputted in the whole Saints-Falcons rivalry. Because he is in my comments too.
He's in anybody from New Orleans comments. Like, my husband is just...
We will fight, Ray, okay? We will fight. Just so you know. I'm coming to the game too this time. All right, so here we go. Which one has better soul food?
New Orleans. All right.
Who has better seafood?
New Orleans.
Who has better music?
I love New Orleans music, but I mean, Atlanta, are we talking back in the day or?
No, we're talking in general. No, just overall. We're not gonna decade this off or nothing.
I'm gonna have to go with New Orleans because, you know, that's the family and like they set it off for the city. So New Orleans.
Falcons or Saints?
Saints all day.
I already know.
All day.
Better nightlife?
Atlanta.
Where you like going shopping?
Atlanta. Well, Atlanta.
There's nowhere to go shopping in New Orleans. All you going is Canal Place, Saks, and that's all we got. That's all we got.
Say not even Atlanta.
You still got your boutique in New Orleans?
When my brother's passed, I closed it.
Okay. All right. New Orleans man or Atlanta man?
My man not from Atlanta. So.
I know. I was like, who wrote that one in? Just trying to get her in trouble. Weather.
Weather. New Orleans so hot. I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Okay. Where would you rather spend the holidays?
At my house. So my house is here. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Best parties.
What type of parties? Just
a party.
I'm not gonna even hold you. There's no party like a New Orleans party.
I was about to say, Because
Like,
I was
there's no
gonna say,
party
girl,
like
like a
one.
crawfish boil.
Second line, backyard party.
Did you see what they did for Frankie?
I saw it.
That was
called me.
beautiful.
That was, I was the queen for the 6 Wall Steppers.
Yes.
That was who did that.
That was amazing. Like the city showed
That
out.
was beautiful. Girl, my daddy was front and center. He like, I'm going to get my Frankie Beverly show. They love Frankie Beverly home. Like they almost feel like he's from there. You would never think he's from
You would
Philly.
not. You would not. Oh man. Girls Weekend.
New Orleans, Atlanta edition still. Girls Weekend. New Orleans.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
New
We just
Orleans.
win overall.
Yeah, New Orleans, everything but the nightlife. I'm not a big fan of our nightlife.
In New Orleans?
Yeah, no.
Really?
Where we going?
Girl, everywhere.
This French Quarter, I don't want to go.
I go everywhere. It'd be bad.
I think Atlanta used to have the best nightlife. Now it's still everywhere.
I think because in New Orleans, the culture that it don't have to be, you could go walk the streets and still feel like you was out, and you hear music, you hear the jazz in the corners. Yeah, you can go to the French Quarter and pop in and out of all these different bars and just still have a good time. It don't have to be a club,
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Orleans, you could just make the fun anyway.
You make the fun anywhere, so that's why I say New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
New
all day.
Orleans anyway. It's everything New Orleans always. But I live here. Atlanta adopted me. I love Atlanta, but I'm gonna ride for my city.
I know you
all
do.
the time.
And that's why you're my girl. Everybody's always like, "You from New York?" I'm like, "No, I'm from New Orleans." Okay. And I always laugh when I see Wayne and anybody from New Orleans. I'm always like, "Man, we done grown up. We've been through a whole lot because it's a lot to get out of the city.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it is.
So not a lot of us make it out of the city, and for those that do, it's like, okay,
for real.
it's good to see you.
It's a lot of little heavy hitters out there now. Yeah, they doing their thing in New Orleans, and I love to see it.
Me
you
too.
know?
I love having you here, sis.
Oh, I love you.
Thank you so much with all the endeavors and everything that's coming up. Can't wait to see this brand new show. When is it going to air?
It airs in January. I don't know the exact date. The network will announce it, but top of the year.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in them DMs too. Like, Nay, your mama
Hit
gave me
her up.
permission.
I told you to take a village. All my sisters.
Thank you, mama.
Thank you.